Hello everyone and welcome to my new video on this channel Free Code School where I aim to teach Python programming for free to everyone. So this is the part 3 of this Python tutorial series. Before this I already have made 3 more videos. So as the numbering starts from 0 here. So 3 more videos before this and all the videos are there in a playlist which is basically for operating system series. So you can find the link of the playlist in the description, also in the comment section. And if you have not watched those, I will recommend you to watch those before coming to this video because this is a continuation of this whole series. But if you already know about those concepts, then it's okay to directly jump here. So in this video, I will be covering about like list and for loop in Python. So I already have covered the basics of list in my previous video. So in this video, I will be covering advanced concept from list and also for loop in Python, which is very important actually. And also, if you want to learn Python programming, of course, this channel is for that. So please subscribe to my channel. And also that motivates me a lot in continuing this effort. Also, if you have any doubts, you can, of course, I have a Telegram channel called Free Code School. You can join that. And of course, you can ask any doubts to me. Of course, other than Telegram channel, you can follow me on Twitter or LinkedIn. And also you can message me there. Or of course, I do a lot of posts on LinkedIn related to Python. So you can also benefit from that. Also, the link to all my profiles are there in the description. So you do not need to go to Twitter or LinkedIn and search me. You will directly find the profile in the description. So let's talk about the agenda for like this video. So I will cover about, first I will cover for loop in Python. So for loop is basically related to list. So both are interconnected kind of. So of course for loop in Python, then indentation in Python, very important, list comprehensions, slicing a list and copying a list. These are the 5 important topics that I will be covering in this video. And also if you see on the left hand side, I will tell you like for the first time I am going to use a online editor, not the terminal that I was using in previous videos. I will tell you the reason for that. As I start coding in this video, you will understand why I'm using text editor now and not the terminal. But of course you can go and write the same code on terminal, it will work. You can also go and write the same code on Visual Studio Code, that will also work. Now, if you want to, if you do not know how to run this code, right, on terminal and Visual Studio Code, watch the part 0 of this series in which I have told how to install Python on your system, how to run the code, how to install Visual Studio Code on your system, how to run the code there. So do watch that video. So of course, see, I will say that since you're learning Python for the first time, it's not so important like which editor you are using or everything. You should learn how to, actual write the code. That is very important. Once you know all the concepts, it's on you. Which editor you want to use, whatever you want to use, you can of course learn that. It's not quite tough that. Okay, so I will tell you like this is the online site called repl.it. So you can also open this site. And if you go down, there will be start coding. I will click on this start coding. Okay, then it will ask for the first option here is Python. So I will select Python and create REPL. Now it should create a REPL created. So I should see two screens here. It will take some time for getting ready. Yeah, it's ready. But what I will do is I will just expand this. So if you, here is the settings button. So what I will do is I want the layout. So let me just show it. I want the layout to be stacked, not side by side, because it's easy to teach me here if I have a stacked one. So if you see here, I have the terminal at the bottom. And of course I have a editor here in which I will write code, and then I have a terminal in which you will see the output and everything. And of course I can write the code here also directly, but that I will not do this time. Okay, and the right hand side you see the slides. That's mostly for my reference. And if you are not able to see some text here by chance, if you are not able to see, the link to this PPT is there in the description, so you can open it separately also and follow me. Okay, now let me start with this. Okay, the first thing is regarding print each name in a list, right? So if you have like names, like let's say if you have names, 3 names, let me write that. Also in this text editor, you will get auto suggestions. So basically it will try to suggest what will be the next line of code. That normally happens in text editors. So do not get worried about that. Obviously it is trying to suggest something like any iteratable. So leave that, do not try to worry about that. Let me see if I can turn off this auto suggestions for now at least. Code intelligence, I will disable it for now. For just for, I mean, I just want to disable it for now. It should not cause a hindrance here. Of course, when you learn the Python programming, of course, those are very useful because they will give you some suggestions. So it's quite good. But for now, I'm leaving that. Okay, these are the names. Now, how do you print the three names here, right? So if you have watched my previous video, so one way is simply write print statement and write name zero, right? I want to print all the three names and then write, okay, let me copy that by two, write it three times. Okay, just copy this, paste, okay. This is index one, this is index two. Now, another way is just write print and all the names directly. This is also another way. Okay, just put a space so it looks clear. I mean, it's not compulsory. I mean, the code will run otherwise also. Okay, and if you see here, I am on Python version 3.8.2 on this system. It will keep on changing because Python versions they keep on updating. So let me see, this is the one way of printing all the names. Let me run this program. Of course, see, this is the green symbol here. You can use that to run the program. So if you see, in the first case, I am using three different print statements. First, I am printing the name at zeroth position, that is Shivam, then at first position, then at second position. And if you remember, the positioning or indexing in the list starts from position zero, not from one. And of course, the one another easy way is just write all the names in like one print statement. This will also print like all the three names in one line itself, separated by a space. These are two different ways. But there is an issue with this approach of printing. So I will tell you what. So see, first of all, you see, I am using in the first approach print statement three times. So I am repeating this code three times, right? So that's repetitive code, right? That's not very clear code if you see, right? You typically would want to write very simple code, which is not very repetitive and it's very easy to read by others. So that's why I mean, you see a lot of repetition of print statements here. So that is not quite good. Also, let's say if the list size changes, like if I add one more name here, let's say, right? Now what happens? You again need to add one more print statement here. You got it? And again you need to also write one more names three here. So you see this does not scale well. As your list size increases, the number of lines in your code also increases. So that's the issue here, a lot of repetition in code. And as you know, you should typically try to write very clean code, right? Also remember, in this list typically I have been taking very small example, 3 elements, 4 elements, but in real life it can be millions of elements, right? Remember that. So you understand the issue when you have millions of elements and you want to use this print statement or this approach to print this. I mean, I'm not sure how much lines of code that will be like. Typically, if you use this approach, I mean, of course, millions lines of code you have to write, right? Million times of print statement. So you do not want to do that. So let's see what is the other way we can do. Of course, you have for loop for that. So for loop is not just for printing purpose, I mean, it's for many other purpose. But of course, the one you let me first write the code and explain you. So okay, I'm not sure why I removed that one. Sorry. I just want to remove the print statements, not the name. Okay. So let me clear this from here. Okay. Now see, I will use the for loop. I will explain this what for loop is. Of course, if you are new to this Python, you will not understand what I'm writing here. Print, but I will first run this code and tell you. Sorry. Okay. Let me run this code. Now see what happened. Again, you are able to see these three lines, Shivam, Navneet, and Anil, similar to the this print statement that you saw. Sorry, this print statement, right? This also printed the same output, Shivam, Navneet, and Anil. Now same thing I am doing with this for loop. Now you will think what this for loop is doing, right? So let me explain you this code. This code is very important. So let me explain you with this with a screen here. So also I have, I mean, iPad here, so I can use that for teaching purpose. So let me explain that. See this. You have names here, right? Names. This is very important to understand. That's why I want to put some effort on this. Let's say next name is Anil, maybe. And the third name is, okay, I think my image is here, right? So let me do one thing. Let me write this below because my image is also there. It will conflict with that. So names equal to Shivam. Do not worry about capital or small letters, or I mean first letter is capital actually. Anil and Navneet. Okay, these are three lists. Now I will first see, this is the code which I have written for name in names print name. This is the code I have written, which I executed just before. Now let me explain the meaning of this for loop. Okay, and this is, I mean, this all are at the same level. I mean, it is at the same level. Just, I mean, when I'm writing by mistake, it went typically some on the right hand side. Okay, let me explain. So this is just the declaration of your variable names. This is a list in which you are storing three names, right? Now index, if you remember, for this is 0, this is 1, for this is 2. Now, what does this for loop do? So what this for loop will do is, so of course this names, if you remember, this names is the name of your list. So always put the name of the list on here, right? This is a syntax actually, which you have to follow, which you have to remember. This is a syntax, Python syntax. Of course, in is also a syntax. You cannot remove this. This is your list name. Now, what is this? What is for name, right? What is this? You think about this. So this is actually a temporary variable. Temporary variable. Variable. You can name it anything, right? It's not compulsory to name it like, since my list name is names, I should name this name. No, you can name it like any other variables. So if you remember in the variables video, that is the first video, I think, I told you what are how you should name the variable, which are the rules you should follow. So you can follow those rules and name it anything. You can name it dog, cat, anything. I mean, you can name it pizza, McDonald's, anything you can name it. It's not an issue, but you should just follow that convention. I will tell you why I have named it name, not some other name, that I'll explain after some time. So now what happens, this is, the for loop is basically for going through, okay, wait just. So what actually happens is, when you are using this line for name in names, what happens? This name, initially, this name, that is the same name here, this initially points to this Shivam, okay? And when, so what happens, this for name in names, so for the, when you go in this loop for the first time, your name variable, temporary variable, is pointing to Shivam, or the zeroth element in this list. Now it will go inside and it will print the name. So what is the name here? Pointing to Shivam. So it will print the content of that, that is Shivam, it will print. Okay, now it will now again go to this for loop again. It will again, so the control from here will not go after this line, it will not go below this, it will again go to the for loop. Okay, now when you go to for loop, now this name will be incremented to this Anil, not to Shivam. From Shivam it will move to Anil. Again it will go inside this for loop and print the name, that is Anil. What is the content in that name, right? That is Anil now. So again the control will again go to for loop again, and this time name will be incremented to this one, Navneet. Okay, now this time it will again go inside the for loop and print Navneet. Okay, now it will again go to the for loop, it will not go down below print, it will again go to the for loop, but this time there are no elements after Navneet, right? We do not have any more names after Navneet, so that's why this control will be broken, and the control of the program will go below this print statement. Whatever lines are below this print statement now will get executed. That's how for loop works. It is for iterating over all the elements, right? So you see, I am able to iterate over all these elements one by one using for loop. So remember the syntax for this, which is very important. Okay. Now let me again go back to this one. I hope you would have understood for loop. If you have any doubts, please ask me in the comments. This is very important. And this is what I have done here. So name, this is a temporary variable. This is the list name. For and in are just the syntax, you have to follow it. And of course, print name means I am printing this, whatever is stored in the name. So initially this name will be pointing to Shivam. In the second step, it will go to Navneet. And in the third step, it will go to Anil. In the fourth step, there are no elements. So for loop will be broken, and the control will come to here, the fourth line, but there is nothing in the fourth line. So the program will stop in this case. Okay. Okay, see this. Now let me just like write some This is a famous song actually by DJ Bravo, I mean, who is a famous cricketer in West Indies, of West Indies. So like everybody is a champion. So sorry, everybody knows like Lara is a champion, right? Similarly, I will write here. Everybody knows. If you do not remember the F, this F, right? This F statements, right? This I have mentioned in the first video, like what is actually this F statements. So do go over the first video if you do not know this F statement. Name is a champion. Okay. Okay. Now let me write one more line. I mean, I will continue the sum champion, champion, champion. Do listen to this song on YouTube if you have time. Okay. Okay. Now, what do you think? What will happen? Also, if you see, I am having some spaces there, right? I will tell you why I am having these spaces. I will tell you after some time. But you need to have some spaces after this for loop. I will explain after some time. Okay. Now, if you run this code, what will happen? See what happens. See these two print statements, okay, are part of the for loop itself. So again, the same thing happens. This name will first point to Shivam, right? Then it will go inside this for loop. It will print. Everybody knows Shivam is a champion. That's what is printed here. But again, it will go to the fourth line also because fourth line is also, if you see the spacing here, the main difference is spacing here. So here also two spaces are here. Here also two spaces are there. That means these two lines belongs to the for loop. Okay. Now it will go to the next line, that is champion, champion, champion. It will print champion, champion, champion. Right? It will again go back to for loop. Next, this time to Navneet. It will print. Everybody knows Navneet is a champion. Again, champion, champion, champion. For the third time, it will go to Anil. The name will be pointing to Anil. It will say everybody knows Anil is a champion. Again, the last line, champion, champion, champion. Then for loop is over because you do not have any elements after Anil. The control will go to fifth line. There is nothing in the fifth line. So this program ends there. Okay. Now next program, let's see what happens. Okay. Now let's do one thing. Let's remove the space here. See the difference. What actually happens if you remove the space from here. See here you have a space. Here you do not have a space in the second print statement. So let's run this code and see the difference. See the difference what happens now. See what I told you. If you have a space after for loop, those only lines are the part of this for loop. If you do not have those space, those are not the part of for loop. So what happens is same thing happens. Name initially points to Shivam. So it prints, everybody knows Shivam is a champion. But it will not go to the fourth line because, I mean, fourth line is not the part of the for loop now. So it will not go to the fourth line. It will again go to the for loop and it will now name will go to the Navneet. It will print, everybody knows Navneet is a champion. Again, for loop has not ended till now. Again, it will go a for loop, it will go to Anil. Everybody knows Anil is a champion. Then at this moment, there are no other elements. So this for loop will end and the control will go to the fourth line. Then it will print champion, champion, champion. That's why you see only 4 lines of code. After this print, of course, the fifth line, but on fifth line, there is nothing. So remember the importance of this space here. 2 spaces are here, right? I will explain in some time what are these and why they are very important. But if you have for loop, whatever lines, I mean, are followed by spaces, all these lines are part of the for loop. But this is not the part of for loop. Very important to remember. Okay, explaining how for loop work, I already have explained it using by using my, I mean, pencil and tab. So if you have any doubts on for loop, like how it works, if you're not able to understand, please ask me in comments because that's very important to understand how for loop works. Okay, let me continue to, okay. So when you are using for loops for the first time, keep in mind that the set of steps is repeated once for each item in the list, no matter how many items are in the list. So always remember, whatever lines are there inside this for loop, this gets repeated for all the elements. So first it will get repeated for Shivam, next time for Navneet, next time for Anil. If you have more elements, it will get repeated more times. If you have millions of elements, this printf will print all the millions of, like everybody knows, and I mean for millions of names it will print. I mean you have millions of lines there. Okay. Now if you have millions of items in your list, Python repeats this step a million times, right? And that happens usually very quickly. It's not that it will take like maybe 1 minute to do this. No, it will be there in mostly seconds or milliseconds mostly. And also keep in mind when writing your own for loops that you can choose any name you want for the temporary variable. I told you for this temporary variable, you can choose any name. See, I will show you example for maybe some pizza, okay, some random name just for, okay, okay, no, no, for champs, good name, right? Champs. For champs in name or no champ. We will use singular here, not plural, because one name at a time, right? Now let's run this. See, this will also work, no issues, right? You can name it anything if you want. It's not an issue. So of course you can you can choose any name for this temporary variable, but it's recommended to use a meaningful name. As I told, your variable names should always be have some meaning. You should not write random variable names because the other programmers who are reading your code, they will not be able to understand that. That's why. So that's why it's hidden. However, it's useful to choose a meaningful name that represents a single item from the list. For example, here is a good way to start for loop for a list of dogs, cats, and list of items. See this? Like if you have the list name as cats, name the name the temporary variable as cat. If you have the list name as dogs, name the temporary variable as dog. If you are naming the list as list of items, then temporary variable name it item. These are good I will say programming practices to follow in Python. Also, like these naming conventions can help you follow the action being done on each item within a loop. It's clear to understand, right? If you have names, then name is there, right? You are iterating over names with the temporary variable name. It's quite easy to understand. Also, using singular and plural names help you identify whether a section of code is working with a single element from the list or the entire list. It's very easy to understand, right? This is the list names, which is plural, and singular is the single element in the list. So you can easily identify which one is which with this naming convention. Okay, next one is very important, avoiding indentation errors. Okay, now you will think that what is indentation? I do not know about this. For the first time I am hearing this word. So let me explain this. What is indentation? So indentation is used to make code more readable, right? So that if anyone sees your code, they can easily read your code. That's why indentation is important. So in programming languages like C, C++, Python, so in some languages, actually, this is optional. I have written wrong here. In Python, it's not optional, but in C, C++, and some other languages, it's not compulsory. Even if you do not use indentation, it's okay. But in Python, it's mandatory. You have to use the indentation. Because in Python, Python uses indentation to determine how a line or group of lines is related to the rest of program. Changing indentation and the meaning of the program changes. You remember that, right? When this, so this is called indentation here. This two spaces you see is indentation actually that I am following here. Again, so you will ask that what is the importance of putting these two spaces or indentation here? Because see, the importance is that after for loop, when you have like spaces or something, this for loop knows that this all like whatever, after for loop, whatever are there in the indentation code, right? This code after spaces, right? All these are part of the for loop. That's why it identifies. So if you remember the difference, if I just indent this, like have two spaces here. Now remember this spaces or whatever two spaces I have is called indentation here, right? So now if I do this, if you remember the output, it was different, right? And if I remove this indentation and put it outside, the output is different. That's why, because in the first case, in this case, of course, for loop will think that both these print statements are part of the for loop because of the two spaces for both of this. But in the next case, only there is indentation for this first line, not for the second line. So for loop will know that only this print statement is the part of for loop. That's why indentation is very important, and it changes the meaning if you write it differently. Okay. This will come with practice. For loop, it's necessary. There are other syntax in Python also. I will talk about that later. So this is typical code from C++, or C, you can say in both it will work. So if you see here in C++ or C, you see the list declaration is different. This is called array in list. So you can see it's different, right? How I have declared the list here in other programming like that C++. I am again iterating with the for loop. Again here for loop is also different. In Python it's quite easy to write for loops and list and everything. It's not that easy in C or C++. So of course you can see I am iterating over all these three elements and printing these numbers. Okay. And if you see I have followed the curly braces here for indentation. Similarly here in the second code also, if you see same code I have written, but I have put the curly braces after this for loop. Actually in C++, both of this code will work. Even if you remove the curly braces with only one line after for loop, it should work, it's fine. But in Python, I mean, if you do not have proper indentation, you will get errors, the meaning of program may change, and a lot of issues will happen. So take care of indentation. Now, as you begin to write code that relies on proper indentation, of course, Python relies on proper indentation, you will need to watch for few common indentation errors. For example, people sometimes indent lines of code that don't need to be indented, or forget to indent lines that need to be indented, right? Seeing examples of this error now will help you avoid them in future and correct them when they. So let me show you some examples. So let me do one thing. Let me remove this line. I have also cleared my screen, and let me not put this two spaces here and remove this. So basically I am removing the indentation here, and let me try to run this code and see what actually happens. Okay, let's run this code, and you see you get an error, that indentation error, expected an indented block. So of course for loop will always expect some indentation after that, but you are not providing that. That's why you have an error. Always you should provide the indentation with two spaces or four spaces. For that I will discuss after some time how much spaces you should have for this. Of course two spaces working here, so of course you can have two space, you can also have four space, but I will discuss after some time. What if you have three space? Let's run this. It works, right? What if you have four space? That also works, right? So it's not issue with how many spaces you should have, but you always needs to be consistent. So if you want to follow like two spaces, always follow two spaces for indentation. So if you do something like this, follow three spaces here and write print, maybe just hello, maybe just example. Now here you have two spaces, and here you are trying to have three spaces. Now if you run this code, of course you will get an error that, of course, for this hello, this is not indented properly. You should have only have two spaces. So be consistent with whatever you want to select. Okay, so this will give error. And another one is that, of course, let me go back to before code. Okay. Okay. Now see, if you, now there is one more issue with this. See, let's say if you wanted to print champion, champion, champion after every name, right? But in this case, what actually happens, you are not able to do that. So this is not an error of indentation. This is a logical error, because why it is logical error is because by logic actually you should put it here, something like this. But you forgot to do that. You are putting it here. So that's why it's printing. I mean this way, right? First it is printing all the names, then champion, champion, champion. But your intention was not this. Your intention was to like have first print this line and then again print champion, champion, champion. So you can, of course, if you do this, it happens, whatever you wanted to do. So of course, these errors are called logical errors. Understand? These will not give you any, I mean, indentation error, but they are logical errors. You have some issue with your logic that you need to change it. Okay, sometimes you may also indent unnecessary. I mean, you're not, I mean, Python does not require any indentation there, but you are providing it extra. For example, you can see here, see after this, this one, right? After this names, you have declared this list. You do not need to put indentation for loop. Let's say if you put it, let's say what happens, okay? Let me do this, okay? See, again, you will get this error that, of course, for this for loop, it is telling you that indentation error, unexpected indent, because you should not put two spaces after names. It's not like, it's a syntax. You have to follow that. Only after for loop you should have indentation, not before for loop. So this is wrong here. Of course, whenever you get an indentation error, you check out that whether your indentation is right or wrong. For now, of course, we are only using indentation inside the for loop, nothing else for now. So remember, remember to use indentation inside the for loop. Okay, this is very important. I mean, you will get a lot of frustration out of this. This single colon, right? You see after this for name in name, there is a single colon here, right? Now, if I remove this, okay, if I run the code, of course, you are going to get an error that syntax error, invalid syntax. This is not a valid syntax. Of course, this, I mean, colon, it is very small. And maybe if you have 1,000 lines of code or 500 lines of code, maybe you may miss it. But for this single small column, right, you may spend 1 hour to find out, okay, this was the issue, okay? Because you will also see for champion names, so it looks okay, I mean, there is no issue. But of course, this column is missing and that gives you that error. So always remember to put this column. Those are very important. So coming to the next part, which is quite interesting and quite controversial. that is tabs versus spaces for indentation, what you should use. So in this example, of course, I am using two spaces here, okay? But of course, you can use it on the keyboard, you have a tab button. So of course, what you can do is, what I will do is, I will just put a tab here for, for this editor, the tab is basically two spaces. So for me, that is happening. I am getting two spaces there. Here also, if I press the button tab on my keyboard, again, I get two spaces because it's configured in this editor to have two spaces whenever I press tab. Okay. Now there, of course, you do not need to press tab. You can also do this. I will press. So of course, you cannot see my keyboard, but I am pressing space two times. One, two. Okay. Here I am moving it backwards. I'm pressing space two times. One, two. This will also work. Either you can use the tab, either you can use the two spaces. Both are working for me. Right? Now the question is which one you should use, and there are a lot of meme around this. There are a lot of controversy around this. Like some people prefer tabs, some people prefer spaces. Now let me also give my viewpoint on this. So of course you can see some memes. So of course this first guy is telling he prefers spaces. The second guy is telling he prefers tabs. Now you have a third guy who is telling that he prefers both, mixing both tabs and spaces. Now, the first two guys are, of course, beating this third guy. Why? Because in Python, it's not allowed to mix both. So you should never mix tabs and spaces in Python. I will show you some examples after some time in which you will get error and you will understand why not to use mix both. Now, this is again meme from Captain America Civil War movie. If you have not watched it, it's okay. But it's something like, Captain America, if you see, he prefers spaces. Then Iron Man prefers tabs. I'm just a meme here. Then there is a civil war between these two, basically fight between these two, right? What they should prefer, because they will fight between you should prefer tabs. He will tell that no, you should prefer spaces. So kind of keeps on happening in the technical world. Okay. Till now you will be thinking, okay, what's the actual issue? Like why people are fighting over tabs and spaces? Why? Let's use tabs if you want to, or use spaces if you want to. Right? Why is this controversy? Why you are fighting over this, right? So So let me explain why there is a lot of issue with spaces and tabs. Okay. So in this text editor, okay, there is actually a settings here. So that setting is very important. In every text editor, it's there. In every editor, whatever text editor you use, this settings will be there. Okay. Now, if you see, go below, so see my indent type is spaces. Okay. So I am using spaces for indentation. What is my indent size? It's two, basically two spaces for indentation, right? I can change this. So of course you have two options there, spaces and tabs. That's what I told. Some people prefer spaces, some people prefer tabs. Okay. Now, let me do one thing. So till now I was working with two spaces. Let me change that to tabs, and size I will now change to 4. Okay. I prefer four, tab with size 4 or 4 spaces. Okay. Now what I will do is, if I press my tab now, I will get 4 spaces, because of course I have told that tabs will be 4 spaces now. Of course you can change on your system. Now let me press the tab again 4 spaces. You see, from 2 spaces I have 4 spaces, but there is no issue. This would work fine. Okay, this will work fine. Even if you have again change the settings, go here from tabs to spaces, have indent size 4. Okay. So basically again, if I press tab now, of course you cannot see it here, but it's 4 spaces now. Again, it's 4 spaces because I have changed it to spaces with 4, right? This also will work fine. Now, what will not work fine? Okay, let me come to that. Now, see this. If I mix this both, I am sorry, again changing it to tabs. Okay, see this. What will happen now? So, in the first case, I will use tab for indentation. I will press one tab. Okay. In the second case, I will press tabs 4 times. So, if you see, this gives you an error. Now, why this is giving you an error? Because you have mixed tabs and spaces. So of course, the first one, I used tab, if you remember, I used the tab key on my keyboard. In the second case, what I did was I used 4 spaces manually from I typed 4 spaces manually from the keyboard. It looks like here that tab is also 4 spaces. This is also actual 4 spaces, but no, tab is, this editor knows that this one is a tab, and it knows that this one is actually 4 spaces printed from keyboard. It knows that. So understand this difference, and you get an error. So never mix tabs and spaces. Either use tabs, either use spaces. So you can use tab here. It will work fine. It will not give you an error. Okay. Either use four spaces here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here also use for 1, 2, 3, 4. This will also work fine, but never mix both of them. Like that is very dangerous and very tough to debug, right? I mean, of course, in this text editor, you do not know the difference, right? I was using tab at the first go and for space at the second go. Both were looking same and I was getting error, right? So to take care of this is very important, okay? Now I prefer to use spaces and I will tell you why, okay? If you see, I have used tab here again, okay? Let me copy this code, okay? I will tell you why, okay? Now I have another editor here on the terminal, that is Vim editor. This is called Vim editor. Let me paste code.py. Let me open a new file and paste this code, whatever I've written there. Now you see the number of spaces is 8 here. Once I pasted this code, the number of spaces is 8 here. Why? Because tab can have different spaces for different editors. For this editor, that is my terminal Vim editor, in this settings, I have like one tab should be equal to 8 spaces. So the size of tab can always vary. It can be either 2, 4, 8, 16, anything. It depends on the how it is configured on your system or on your editor. Okay. So that's why if you see, I mean, of course, here I am using only 4. I mean, if you see tab, if you see the size is here, Indian size is 4. Okay, I am using here 4. But when you paste the same code on your another editor here, you see that of course the size has become 8 spaces, right? So I mean, of course, this is not great. This is inconsistent on different editor, but spaces is not such. So let me do this. So let me write 1, 2, 3, 4 space, 1, 2, 3, 4 space, sorry, 4 space, copy this code again, okay? And let me delete this code, Let me paste the new code. Now you see, when I use spaces, 4 spaces here in this code, okay? Now I can see the 4 spaces here. I am not seeing the 8 spaces here. In case of tabs, it was 8 spaces. So remember this, that tabs, the size of tab can vary on different editors. It can be 4 sometimes, it can be 2, it can be 8, it can be 16. So it is inconsistent. On one editor, you will see 4, I mean, a tab size equal to 4 spaces. On some other, you will see different size. So that's why I prefer spaces. Spaces will be, I mean, whenever, whatever editor you use, always spaces will be spaces. If you have 4 spaces here, on other editor also, this will be 4 spaces itself. So that is quite useful. Also mixing tabs and spaces can cause error. Already I have shown you, okay? And I prefer using 4 spaces for indentation. So for now, I will change the settings to using spaces and indent size equal to 4, right? I will do this. In all the editors, you have this option, do not worry. This is an online editor, but if you use Visual Studio Code or anything, you have the option. For that, I will talk later, okay? Just focus on learning this Python. And also, I mean, of course, you can type this space 4 times, but do not do this. I mean, so here already I have the settings, right? If you see, I have the settings for spaces 4. Automatically it will do. I do not need to, I mean, of course, here the default setting is that if I press tab here, okay, by default, it will have 4 spaces here. Here also, if I press tab, I will have 4 spaces there. So that's by default configured here. On your text editor also, you can configure this. You do not need to press 4 spaces every time. Use the tab and have the settings that whenever you press tab here, I mean on pressing tab, you should have 4 spaces. That can be configured in your text editor. Do not worry about that, okay? But just do not do the dangerous combination of combining both of these. So I know this is a very long, I took a lot of time to explain you this, like I have repeated many things multiple times. So my main intention is that you should understand the difference between spaces and tabs. And you should not waste, of course, here maybe you have wasted, maybe not wasted actually, but it would have taken 15 minutes for me to explain this concept. But once you get stuck, you will spend 1 hour, 2 hours on fixing that. Right? So better to understand first so that you do not waste much time later. Okay. If you have any doubts on this indentation, tabs, spaces, anything, do ask in the comments. Okay. And for now, just keep focusing on these settings. You have settings here. In all text editor, you have settings. So for now, learn through this text editor. Later on, when you go to some other text editor like Sublime Text, any other, then you can Google search how to configure this. Of course, you will find the answer. Do not worry about that. Okay, so okay, remove this. Okay, let's now move on to the next part. I took a lot of time on this. Making numerical list. Till now, we have seen a list that is basically, if you see this list is, if you see, is of course a string. So I mostly worked on string with the for loop. Now let's try to work on for loop on numerical list. Okay, see this. So what you can do is, this is very important. Okay, let me remove this code. Now for value in range, okay, 1 to 5, print value. Okay, value. Sorry. Okay, let me run this code. So what is printed 1, 2, 3, 4? So let me explain you what actually happened. Okay, so I will explain you with again here. So let me write you the same code here and explain you. So the code was for value in range 1 to 5 colon print value. Okay, so there is no magic here actually. This is quite simple. Actually, this range, everything is similar. If you see here, right? Everything is similar. You have this temporary variable, then for starting with for in is there, colon is also there. Sorry, this part. So only this part is different. This part is different. Now, what is this range 1 to 5? You will think, right? So actually, this is very simple. This is similar to a list having numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is basically the start. This is called the end, and this range 1, comma 5 is equivalent to, so start from this start number, whatever you have, 1, then go to 2, 3, 4, but the 5 number, the 5 will not be here till end minus 1. All the numbers will be there. So from start plus 1, it will go on till end minus 1. These numbers are there in the list. If you use this syntax, it's equivalent to that. So understand this, right? This is just a special keyword in Python to, I mean, of course, it means the same thing. If you write the code something like this, for value in 1, 2, 3, 4, you can also write this print value. Okay, I'm just writing something, do not worry about the print value. So this code and this both code will print the same output, do not worry about this. But of course, you know, this is quite difficult to write, right? This is quite easy to write. Just write the starting and the end, I mean the end one, and you get this one, right? So which one is easy to write? Now you think about this. If you have million number, okay, let leave million numbers. If you have 1,000 numbers, right? So if you write 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 till 1,000, you understand how difficult it is. So better you can use this range special function you have. Basically, just write range 1 to 1,001. Why 1,001? I want to have numbers from 1 to 1,000, but 1,001 will not be included. 1,000 will be included. That's why I told end minus 1. This is end minus 1 is included. End is not included in this. So this will print all the numbers. So let's go here. That's what happened if you see, right? So from 1 to 4, it printed the numbers because this the last number will not be included in the list. This range is similar to basically having a list. It's not, you cannot actually see, but on the background that's happening. Okay. Okay. If you want to print numbers from 1 to 6, what will you do? You have to print number from 1 to 6. So of course you should have 7 here because 7 will not get printed, but from 1 to 6 will get printed. So take care of. Another programming language also is there. So take care of this one. Now, another way is that, let's say if you do not want to start your number from, like if you do not want to, let's say by default, you want to start your numbering from 0, okay? Then you can just have maybe 5, okay? What this will do is, so you have just one index here, right? So what it will be is, it will start from 0 till 4. That simply means if you have only one number here, like 5, it's Python, and Python will see that this is the end, basically this end, I told you here, right? The end thing, this end, right? So Python will think that if you have only one number here in this range function, Python will think that's the end. So if you do not provide the starting number here, if you only have the ending number, Python will start from 0 to this end minus 1, it will print from this number. But if you have 7, what will be the output? 0 to 6, okay? So remember this one. It is also important. Also, you can use the range to store a list of numbers. As I told you, range simply works like it's a kind of list itself, right? So what you can do is you can use numbers, sorry, wrong spelling, numbers, okay? And declare a value numbers, and you can just use list here and type range here, okay? Okay, so what you, if you just print for, okay, leave, Yes, you can do print numbers. Okay, do this, and you will see that this numbers is a list now. Okay, see, this is a list with elements 1, 2, 3, 4. So of course, what you can do is you can use this range function and provide the same output and same input, that is 1 and 5. And you just need to have list outside this. I mean, just provide list and then this brackets here, close this, okay? And this is basically, I am trying to convert this into a list. That's how you do this in Python. As I told you, you can convert like string to numbers and everything, right? Here I'm trying to convert this into a list, and it got converted. If you print numbers, it's a list here. So whenever you want to prepare a list of numbers, you can always use range and prepare it. And I told you, on the background, range 1 to 5 is just a list, as I told you. Just I'm using this list to tell that, okay, convert this to list, right? That's what I am telling this. So this is also very useful sometimes when you want to have like a list of numbers, okay? So there is another interesting concept of skipping numbers within a range. So you can also skip numbers. So take this example, 111, 2. So if you just have 111, you know what will be the, I mean, you know that this numbers will be something like, you know this, right? It should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, not 11. 11 will not be included. But if I have 2 here as the third parameter here, you can skip some numbers. So how many numbers will be skipped? So let's do, okay, leave these print numbers, or maybe, okay, print one by one, maybe, not in one list for number in numbers, okay, print number. You see the difference now, okay? Now this list, if you see, I mean, if you do not have 2 here, this will be the list. But when you provide a third parameter, that is basically skipping the numbers, what will happen is, so this will skip by only 1. That means initially 1 will be printed, this 2 will be skipped, 3 will be printed, 4 will be skipped. So let's see the output, you will understand. Run this. So you see 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 is printed. Why? Because when we are providing the third parameter, I mean, in this case, only one number will get skipped, not 2 numbers. Remember this, 2 number will not get skipped. Okay, 1 number will only get skipped. It's similar to, I mean, basically, whatever the third parameter minus 1 numbers will be skipped. Here, if you see, first number gets printed, but this 1 number gets skipped. Again, 3 gets printed, this number gets skipped. Again, similar thing goes on, right? If I have 3 here, now can you guess the output for this if I have 3 here? Of course, what will happen? I mean, this 2 numbers will be here. The third will be skipped. Again, 2 numbers will be there. Third will be skipped. Again, 2 numbers will be there. Let's see the output. So if you see, when I have 3 here, see what is the output? 1, 4, 7, 10. So of course, in this case, what happened? 2 numbers got skipped. Okay. So after one will always, the first number gets printed. After this 3, I mean 2 numbers get skipped because of 3. Again 4 gets printed, but another 2 numbers get skipped. Okay, again 7 gets printed, 8, 9 get skipped, and then we print 10. So remember this one, try to practice it with this, right? Third index, have 4 here, 5 here, and you will see those numbers are getting, those those times numbers are getting skipped from the list. So that is very also useful. So also, if you print the list, another way is this, and just to confirm this, you can see that only your numbers will be 1, 4, 7, 10. Okay, all the other numbers is not there in the list. That's how you can do this. It can be also important sometimes. Take example of printing multiplication table of 5. Okay, so basically you have to print basically something like 5, 10, and you would have done in math 15 till 50 you have to do. Okay, you have to print this table till 50. Okay, now how you can do it, what I will do is I will store this in a I will store the print multiplication table in a list called output. Okay, now what I will do is for value in range. Okay, now think about this. I need to print from 5 into 1 till 5 into 10. Okay, so in the range what I will have is from 1 to 11. I will you will understand why. Then you can have declare another temporary variable equal to num equal to value 5 into, I explain this if you do not understand this, 5 into value output dot append num. Okay, let's print the output at the bottom. Then output. I have disabled the code, so okay, I have to write everything. Okay, you see the table of 5 is printed 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Okay, now what I did was I just created one, I mean, list output where I want to store this whatever output is. Then I'm creating a for loop, and you know this what this will happen. This range will get converted to numbers from 1 to 10. Okay. Now when I'm going inside for the first time, my value will be 1. If you know the for loop, how I've explained, initially my value will be 1. So initially number will have 5 into 1, that is 5, and in this output 5 will get appended. Okay. Next time again for loop will go, but this time value will be 2. Num equal to 5 into 2, that is 10. Now output will append, 10 will be appended. Okay, that's why 5, 10, and you know what will keep on happening. Next time this value will be 3, number will be 5 into 3, 15, 15 will get appended. It will go on till last number is 10. It will do 5 into 10, 50, and 50 will get appended, and you see the output here. Right? Try to print multiplication table of any other number. Take any other number and try to print it. Try to print it till 20, till 30. Right? Try to do this. Okay, let's try to do some simple stats with maths. So what I will do is I will have some numbers here. I will show you some maths here. Let's have some numbers. Okay. I will use range to generate the numbers. Okay. Range 1, 8, and 2. Okay. That's this. Okay. What I will do is I will use some functions. I will show you min of numbers. So you know the first line is doing. It is just creating a list of numbers from. Try to guess it. Okay. I'll print output, but try to guess what is the stored in that numbers list. Max number, sum of numbers. You can use some functions actually with this list on this numerical list. And what this is telling you, basically give the minimum of whatever numbers are there in numbers. Let me print also numbers. You will get more clarity. But try to find out in your mind what is the numbers here. Okay. Let's run this code. Okay. Okay, you know the mistake here. I have not used the print statement, so it will not print this. That's my mistake. Okay, close this one also. Let me run it again, and you can see that of course the first list is 1357 because you know numbers should be ideally from 1 to 7, but I have skipped one numbers in between using this third parameter. That's why 1357. I print the numbers. Then this one is this min of numbers. Okay, this min function is basically find which one is the among these 4 numbers, which number is the minimum. Of course, 1 is the minimum. That's why it printed 1. Second case, which is the max of all of this. Okay, of course, 7 is the max of all these 4 numbers. 7 got printed. The third one is find the sum of all the whatever the numbers are in that list. Find the sum of all of this. Of course, if you sum these all numbers, the output is 16. That's why 16 got printed. So these are some simple statistics function you can use in the list. Numeric. So of course, numerical list. You cannot use this with string. You cannot sum two strings, right? Of course, that is different. Behavior is different in strings if you sum both of this. So only for use this for numerical list. So let's move on to the list comprehension. Okay, this one is quite interesting. Okay, a list comprehension combines the for loop and creation of new elements into one line and automatically appends each element. Okay, I can actually write the multiplication table of 5 in only one line of code, and then I can print it. I will show you how. This is not for a beginner level, but it's okay to understand this. If you find some difficulty in this, it's okay to skip this now. But this is very, I mean, in one line of code, you are writing the same thing which I have written in 3 lines of code, four lines of code before, right? See this, I will explain you how. So again, I will declare the output variable, so output list in which I want to store this. Of course, in this multiplication of 5, I was using the output, right? Now, I will write all the logic of the code inside this list itself. How? So of course, what you want to store in this list? If you remember, I want to store 5 into value. I will explain you why. Now I want to iterate over for value in range 1 to 11. Okay. Let me print out. I'll explain you. Do not worry. Just print output. This will basically give you a table of 5. See, in only one line I am able to get the output. Okay. So what I did was I created this list. Okay. Initially it was just a list. Then what I wrote here is go from here, right? For value in range 1 to 11. So basically what I'm doing is I'm again iterating from numbers from 1 to 10. Okay. Now at each for loop, okay, when you are at 1, when the value is 1, do 5 into value and also append in the list. Okay. So by default, you do not see the append line here, right? But when you are using this syntax, Python will append it on the background, behind the scenes, Python will append it. So whatever the value you are writing here at the first line, 5 into value, Python will append this in the list output. That's what is happening, okay? Because first time this for loop, so initially for loop will run, of course. It will have the value 1, then 5 into 1 will be 5, and Python will append this into output. Next time again it will go to for loop, next value will be 2, it will do 2 into 5, 10, and it will automatically append that, right? That's why you get this output, okay? Try to understand this logic, right? If you have any doubt, do ask me in the comments. This is a bit of advanced concept, but if you understand now itself, it will be very helpful for you. Writing very simple code, okay? Now, next one is working with a part of the list, which is very important. Now, can we access multiple list elements at one go? This is the question, right? Because before this, we have been accessing one element at one time, like the zeroth element, first element, second element. We have been accessing only one element. Can we access two elements at one time? Can we do this? So let's understand this. Of course, we have the concept of slice in Python. Slice is a very powerful concept in Python. It's not there in many other programming languages. It's kind, I mean, if you see the slice, what is the meaning of slice? Slice of pizza, right? So you divide the pizza into, I mean, equal parts or unequal parts, right? Similarly, here also you can divide the list and print it like multiple elements at one time. I will show you how. You can access multiple elements at one time. This is not present in all the programming languages. Leave the theory, come to some programming, okay? Numbers equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? Now let me just try the code first. I'll explain you. Numbers 1, 2, 3. Print numbers 0 to 4. 2 to 3. I'm wasting a lot of time of you by copy. I'm not copying paste this. It's okay. You can maybe watch this on I'm more speed. Okay, let me run this code. I will explain you what is happening here. So if you see, I am using this the new thing here, right? Initially, I was just using, if you remember, numbers 0, numbers 1, numbers 2. But I am using, if you see, this is different. I'm using a slice here. This is basically colon here, but this is called slice in Python. Then I am having two, I mean, left hand side I have one number, right hand side I have one number. So what this means is that, so you can print numbers. So basically what this will do is, this will print the numbers from index 1, that is index 1 is which, this is index 1, this is index 0, till index 3 minus 1. Again, this 3 will not be included. This index 3 will not be included. 3 minus 1, that is 2. So this is, these two numbers will be printed. That's why you see 2, 3 got printed. This is always important. This third index will not be printed. Before this, I mean 3 minus 1, that is 2, till that numbers will be printed. Similarly, 0 to 4, if you see, you can access the numbers from 0th index, but not till 4th index, before 4th index. So what is before 4th index? Right, third index, from 0 to 3. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. That means all the elements will be printed. In this case, the third case, if you see, I am trying to access, I mean, values from index 2 to 3 minus 1. That is 2 to 2, right? What is at index 2 at 3? And again, the end is also 2 itself, right? That means only 3 will be printed in this case. And the last case, see, there is some issue with this. What I'm trying to print starting from index 2. The index 2 is this one, okay? And I have to print till index 2 minus 1. That is 1. So of course, if you see that my end index is before starting index, right? But this is not, I mean, what you intend to do in list, right? You do not want, I mean, of course, your ends should always be equal to or greater than a start. But this here end is smaller than a start. In this case, nothing will be printed, empty list will be printed. There will be no error, but empty list will be printed, always remember. For example, if you do just 2 and 1 also, okay? If you run the code, you see again empty list is printed because this is not valid. Right? So that's what is slicing a list. This is the important one you have to remember. This is the starting index, this is the ending index, but ending index is not included. All the elements before index, sorry, before ending from the start to end minus 1 is included. So this you should remember. Another example is this, okay, maybe sometimes you do not want to use this. If you remember in range also, if you remember range 5, I do not use the starting one. Here also you can have similar behavior. Remember negative index from my previous video? If you do not remember, do watch that. I am not going to explain again. Okay, so if you do not provide a starting number, Python by default will think that you want to print from starting. You want to access numbers from starting. So basically, if you do not provide by default any number, Python will think this as zero always. Okay, so that's why you see. Let me run this code. So in the first case, if you see, Python will think that this is zero. Okay, it will print from 0 to 2. 0, 1, 2. The next case, if you do not provide end element, Python will think that this is the till the end of the list. Okay, go till end of the list. Okay, that means starting from first index, that is 2, go till the end of this 2, 3, 4 will be printed. Now, if you remember negative indexing, so negative indexing is basically from backwards. So this is -1, this is -2. Okay, so from -2, you need to print till end because you do not have ending number here. That means from -2 index, go till 3, 4. Okay, 3, 4 is printed. In the last case, again, you do not have a starting. That means start from 0. By default, it's 0. What is the -3 element here? -3 index. This is -1. This is -2. This is -3. Okay. But if you remember, and you cannot directly go -3. -3, you have to go before this. This is -3. But if you remember, end -1. So of course, that is -4. So only 1 will be printed. Okay. So do spend some time on understanding this. This is very important concept. Okay. If you have any doubts, do ask me in the comments. Okay. Next one is like looping through a slice. You can also loop through a slice. See this for number. I want to just print the first 3 numbers. I do not want to print the 4 numbers. What I will do is print number. This is just print the first 3 numbers. Okay. Why? Because what is happening is I am not, see, if I have just numbers here by default, that's what typically you do. All the number will get printed, but I do not want to print. I want to print only the first 3 numbers. That's why I use this. So what this numbers, this means, this will only access the from 0 to second element, right? That's why only those 3 numbers get printed. Okay. Copying a list. Okay. This one is quite great thing, I will say. I also didn't know this concept before. Now I know this. So one advantage of teaching to you, I also learn a lot of concepts. Okay. So let's make a numbers copy. Let's declare a new list. Okay. Numbers. Okay. Numbers. Not append. I'm just writing the code here, but I will show you the output and explain you. Numbers. Dot append. Okay. Print numbers. And sorry, I'm not using the auto suggestion here. I have disabled those. Sorry for that. Okay. Let me run this code. I got error built-in function method object something. Okay, I know this. Okay. Okay, let me now explain you this what actually happened. Okay. So what I did was I want to make a copy of this list numbers. Okay, I want to make a copy of this. I want to have the same numbers in another variable. Okay, I want to make a copy of this. So I declared a new variable, new list called numbers copy. And what I did was I want to make a copy of this one, this list. So I use this same name here numbers. But if you see this here, what I did was I am just using this one, right? So you know this, what is this, right? Of course, if you if you do not mention the starting and the end number, by default, Python will think this as 0 and this it will think it as 5, end of the list. Okay, so there are 4 elements here. Sorry, it will think 4. Sorry. What is the length of the list? By default, Python will think that it will not provide this. Okay, so that's why this is 0 to 4. That means this is basically you are accessing all the numbers of this list, and that is being stored in numbers copy. Okay, now in the numbers this list we are appending 5. Okay, in the numbers copy list we are appending 6. Now we are trying to print both the list. Okay, of course there will be difference because you have made a copy of numbers copy. In numbers copy you are appending 6. So if you see in the numbers copy output, you get 1 2 3 4, the original copy you made. After that you appended 6, so 6. Okay, in the numbers the original was 1 2 3 4, then you appended 5, so you see 1 2 3 4 5. So now let me change one line and show you some magic here. Okay, I will remove this. Okay, now what do you think the output should be? So the output change, I mean, with the output change or will it be same? Okay, so let me try to run this code. And you are seeing what? Both are same output. Okay. Before this, your output was what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the first case, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 in the second case. Now you're seeing the same output, like numbers and number copies are same. What happened now, right? I mean, you made a copy and then change it differently, right? Now, see what actually happens in this case is, in this case, you are not making a copy of this numbers actually. What is actually happening is, let me show you here. So what is actually happening is, okay, you are not making a copy exactly. Okay, what is happening is, see, actually this is a bit advanced one, but okay, numbers equal to, let's say this was 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what is happening is this numbers is actually kind of pointing to this one, okay. Now when you do numbers copy equal to numbers, now in this case what happens is this numbers copy also starts pointing to the same here, same list here. That's what happens when you just write the numbers copy equal to numbers. Numbers copy will also start pointing to the same thing on which numbers is pointing. The numbers is pointing to 1, 2, 3, 4. It will also start pointing to 1, 2, 3, 4. Not a separate copy is made in this case. You do not get a separate copy. Only a pointer is changed to this whatever numbers was pointing. But when you do this one, sorry, so when you use this column here, like when you're making copy using this slice operator here, in this case what happens? No, this is not done. This pointer is not done. This numbers copy, all these values are copied. In this case what happens? Another copy of this is made. So another copy is made. You have two copies now. Now this copy, numbers is pointing to this copy, but numbers copy is pointing to this copy, okay? Now both are different. Now both are pointing to different copies. That's why when you append 5 here, 5 gets appended here, 6 gets appended here. Now both are different here, okay? That's one difference here. I mean, that you should understand, okay? And also if you do not understand like why what I'm showing pointers and all here, just understand that in this case what actually is happening is Python is not making a separate copy of this one. Now numbers copy and numbers both are actually pointing to the same thing. But when you are doing this one, okay, this thing, Python is actually making a separate copy of this list, and it is basically numbers copy equal to, it is assigning this list to this, right? A new list, okay? Understand this. Okay, this example I've shown. Okay, I think this one is done. I know this was a bit tougher than the other parts. The previous parts I covered, this was a bit tougher, but do not give it up here. Okay, if you find it up, it's okay. By practice, it will make you perfect. And one thing, I mean, if you got confused on the indentation part, always keep on using tabs for beginning purpose. Just press tab and use that for indentation, okay? As I mean, but once you start like, I mean, writing bigger codes, right? 15 lines, 20 lines, 100 lines of code. I will show you, and if somebody else also wants to maybe use your code or change your code, in that case, try to use 4 spaces because it will be consistent on their editors, your editor, okay? It will be consistent, that's why. But do not get confused much on that. Do not spend a lot of time on that, okay? Just press tab for now and keep learning, okay? There are some assignments there. Of course, from now there will be assignments where you need to practice this to understand if you have understood the concept or not, okay? Now try to print numbers from, okay, let me remove this. First assignment, print square of numbers from 1 to 10 using for loop. So what is the square of 1? 1. Square of 2 is 4. Square of 3 is 9. You need to print till square of 10, that is 100. You need to print these numbers from 1, 4, 9, 16, square of all the numbers from 1 to 10 using for loop, okay? Also do the same thing, store it in a list first and then print like the multiplication table I did. Also try to write the one-liner code for this using list comprehension if you can, okay? And the second assignment is fruits equal to 4 fruits name you have. Now you need to first print first 2 fruits using slicing. No, not use just fruits 0 and fruits 1. No, I don't want that. You should use slicing to print that. You can use different slicing, right? I mean, you can, because slicing is very powerful. You can print this first 2 fruit names using different slicing numbers. So try whatever you can. Also print the last 2 fruits, okay, using slicing. Also print the fruits at odd position, okay? So this is the position 0. Banana is at position 0. Apple is at 1. That means 0 is even. 1 is apple is 1. That is even. Sorry, odd. Again even. Again odd. So try to print at even and odd position separately, okay? Using of course for loop. then paste your code in the comment. I will check your code and of course will give you a review on that. Okay, and try to you can try to write, if you, let's say if you want to do this same thing in 4 different ways, do this, write the code, it's okay. So you're learning, you can do try in 4, 5, 6 different ways. Okay, and if all of them are working, it's fine. Okay, but do use that concept, slicing and for loop and everything in this, right, to learn this. And what's next? Okay, I think this was a very important part. For loop is very important, and I hope you understand the for loop. Do not tabs and everything is okay, but understand the for loop part. Also the list slicing, list comprehension, and everything I told you, to understand those. Also in the next video, if else statements in Python, that is again very important one. And I think if once you are done with the if else statement, I think you should be fine with writing some good code after that. Okay, I will, of course, write some good codes for you, and I will give you some assignments to write you more code. Okay, that's all for this video, and do provide your feedback on how much you were able to understand from this video, and those feedback will be very helpful for me. Thank you.